The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business. Right here in Central New York. The Local Show is locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back into it, and so happy to have you along for the ride. It's Tom and Steve from Zoey Advertising, bringing you The Local Show.
How's your lawn, Tom?
My lawn is growing fast, so I think that Nicholas may have set my push mower to the wrong height. I think he was trying to get away with not having to mow it as much, so he lowered it.
Okay.
So now it's lower than the actual riding mower. So now when I trim out the lawn, it's got two different heights to it.
Was it the heights or did it go brown? Because you go too low.
No, because we've had so much rain. I'm not worried about the browning yet. However, but it's different lengths. So like if I, mow one patch that might be harder to get so I don't twist around with the rider. It's just at a different height.
In your neighborhood, you're going to get in big trouble.
I'm going to get a notice.
The homeowners association.
So what you're saying, the mistake he made was not lowering the rider as much.
He would have to lower the rider even more to match it.
Do you make sure you clean up the landmines from the dogs before you take it out there? Because you get that in the tire, and then that creates a challenge.
We have a family. We joke is when my daughter was a teenager, we'd make her go out and mow the lawn, and we had a big dog at the time, a golden retriever, and she hated that. So she'd go through and just cut all of it over the dog poop, whack it all. I think the idea was do it as bad as you possibly can.
So Dad will go out and do it.
Yeah, so I don't have to do it again.
So Tom, who is that talking?
That is George Powers. George Powers is with us, ladies and gentlemen.
I forgot I hadn't been introduced yet.
Powers Accounting, and a fantastic businessman. Tell people what you do in your business at Powers Accounting.
Well, we do a lot of things, but primarily what we're doing these days, we've got our payroll side, Payroll Made Simple. Yeah. It's been very, very busy. We do payroll for local businesses, and we have communications with them. We talk to them.
Why would someone not want to do their own payroll?
Because it's a nuisance, and there's a lot of small little challenges that need to be done. If you're a day or two late, there's penalties. It's just something that's constant and consistent. You can still certainly do it yourself, but you got to pay a payroll program to do it. And those programs aren't necessarily cheap, and you can do anything you want on them. I've had some clients that have done that, and they set things up that, for example, they're going to pay a bonus. Well, they don't want to have taxes.
Why would they want to do that?
Yeah, that's a good question. different question. But they don't want taxes paid on it. So they set up this bonus that's non-taxable. Well, it's all wrong. The program will let you do anything you want to do. You just have to know what you should be doing. And they're not payroll people. They don't know some of the details there. So they don't have enough, I guess you would call restrictions, enough fences on what these folks can do, and they can kind of mess up their payroll at times.
I think way back when somebody had a business, they kind of had a sense of self-accomplishment or hey, I'm the leader, or this is my business, when they used to sign the check.
Or you can still sign the check if you want to.
Right. Old school, right.
I haven't signed a check in years.
But nowadays, with all the electronic transfer and everything, I don't think that people get off on that as much.
No, you don't even want to anymore.
Yeah,
you just get it done.
Right.
And now it has created a world that you have to be much more careful with security.
Oh, yeah.
Because, with email hacks and everything else, you just have to be very, very careful. I would say that we get at least 1 week, if not more often, emails from various different things that are just spams. I will sometimes, every three or four times a year, I'll get an email from one of my quote employees who said they've got a new bank account. My office is not that big. They can just walk down. By the way, I just changed my bank account. No, you really didn't. So you have to be very vigilant with security these days, certainly in any industry but ours.
In the old days, they would attack the wagon that was carrying the payroll.
You had to hire a whole bunch of big guys with guns.
But nowadays, it's electronic scamming.
And we were talking these days, not too long ago, about the AI. Yes. And how the deep fakes, and they can actually fake your voice. Yeah, and crazy. You can't even accept people, they were coming to a point, someone calls and you recognize the voice You can't even accept that anymore. We have to create some better security methods so we don't get hacked in that way.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
It's becoming a bigger issue, and it's just going to continue to be so. So, I mean, that's just part of what we have to deal with these days in our industry. As every industry, we just have to deal with a lot of money things. So, we have to be a little more diligent.
How's small business doing right now?
Most are doing fantastic.
Yeah,
I mean, really and truly, most are doing wonderful. Certainly the real estate market and the construction in this area is going gangbusters. There's a lot of good stuff going on in business. There's always going to be a few that struggle, but for the most, people are doing pretty good, I would have to say.
I know you don't have your tentacles into all different types of businesses, but you have a good variety of businesses that you do business with. So do you see anybody ramping up for the whole Micron thing and all of this, the amount of people coming to town and all that?
Everybody's talking about it. And certainly the real estate market in the northern area of the county has gone up. The commercial has gone up dramatically. And people are buying up stuff left and right up there. So we're seeing that. The ramp up, I'm not seeing a lot of yet. I think we will. I mean, there's still a lot of things that are going to, not a lot of construction. They've got to completely redo the 81 overpass. We need more.
Got to make more schools, don't we?
More schools.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much that has to come. But we're talking, 9 years? It will be coming. We will have more and more. And I think it's going to be an incredible economic boom for this area we haven't had in a long, long time.
I just didn't know if anybody was coming to you saying, hey, I'm opening up this kind of business because I feel like we're going to need this type, other than pot stores, because that's all I see opening.
There's a lot of those opening up.
You can't eat a bag of Doritos and not see a pot store. Now they're everywhere.
That's right.
LED lights and bongs. That's all I see.
There's only so many of those. I think that's going to go the way of the old video stores everywhere. And then they're going to condense themselves down.
You're so right.
Everybody's going to make $1 million in the marijuana business. And it just doesn't occur.
Certain brands or categories of business that you see are prospering?
I would say certainly construction is doing well. A lot of the maintenance folks are doing really well. I was going to
say, like landscapers.
I see them
have
doing
a lot of them. Yeah.
I see for some reason I've been noticing a lot of them doing quite well lately, which means, in my opinion, then people are doing well enough they can pay landscapers to come do their stuff.
You mean like you do, George?
Like I do. Yeah. Mine's a local high school kid, but hey, but a lot of people are doing that. I would say restaurants are doing reasonable. Yeah. Everybody's has their ups and downs, I would say. Right. But right now, I'm seeing most people are doing decently well. I mean, not as well as that has been at some times, but certainly I'm not seeing any great economic struggles at this point.
I haven't seen a lot of flower shops. I think that Home Depot is taking that market by storm now.
That's been the florists over the last 20 years have been just.
That's too bad.
All the the Wegmans and the Home Depot, you can buy flowers now so easily that people don't do as much of that.
Or you can send an emoji of a flower there, and I just
and that's not an economic thing. That's just an industry change.
You're right,
and those have been going. And we talk about different things. Restaurants. Look at what has happened in restaurants in the last 10 years.
What has happened?
The price has doubled.
Or more, but they've gone up a lot. Yeah. But if you look at, they used to have just regular kind of, chain restaurants. Now you got some really fancy, nice places. In order to have a restaurant, you've got to keep a restaurant. You've got to amp up. You got to really have your game going these days to be in a restaurant. So it's interesting.
Eating out is expensive.
It is.
It is crazy.
It's going to go up. It's not expensive enough from the financial side. They need to raise their prices even more.
Don't tell them that. It's rough now.
We call those things paradigm shifts.
Is that what it is?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
The problem is the costs have gone up so much, and the labor costs have gone up so much that the prices actually still have to go up.
When you walk in and you get takeout and you got a bag of food, do you tip, George?
Yes, because I don't. Because usually you put it on the credit card. I don't want them to spit in my food as I'm getting it. Do I like to do that? No, but I do it.
Professional advice from a business bookkeeping and accounting company, George Powers, gpowers.com. Remember, tip or you'll get spit. Okay.
Very nice. Thank you, George. Have a great rest of the day. Coming up next, Josh Lang. He's a pastor at Redeemer Church here in Syracuse, and he's going to be on the local show on 570 WSYR. Don't go anywhere.